Hey, what's up, guys? Rafael Castro Motorsports. Whether you guys are here new to my channel, please like, follow, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. We're going to be talking about the new project we're going to be handling, which is the 1964 Ford. Well, technically, it's a Shelby Cobra built by Ford. Originally comes with a 289 4.7 liter V8. It's carbureted with a 3-speed automatic transmission and 377 gears. Now, in this situation for this customer, we're actually going to go to a new style. We're going to be going with an upgraded displacement and an upgraded transmission. With upgraded transmission means better drive shaft and better rear end. So this is going to be the introduction we're going to talk about, guys. Is we're going over the parts that we're going to need while we already made the measurements, what transmissions we're going to accept. So I'm on the same size. We're going to go to the same location where the engine is going to be mapped and placed with new engine mounts. We're also going to be upgrading the transmission, so we had to make the measurements for the transmission and also the drive shaft. So when we took the measurements on here for the 3-speed automatic was going to be 22 3 and 3/16 inches for the length. The drive shaft is going to be actually 12 inches long as the original drive shaft for this car. And then we're gonna be using, and then also we're not gonna be using the same rear end. We're gonna be upgrading the rear end with upgraded gears, which is a 377s. We're actually gonna be using a 355 posi track. So we're looking at the the parts we're gonna be putting on here. So the transmission we're gonna be going with is a 4W70, which is electronically controlled 4-speed automatic, which they use on the newer Mustangs from the early 2000s. And what we're gonna do is switch out this 3-speed to be more efficient power and more efficient power to the ground. We're going to be using a 4-speed automatic instead of the 3-speed. And we're going to be upgrading the 289, switching it out for a 351 Windsor. We're going to be stroking out to a 408 to make at least 500 horsepower. And so at least 500 horsepower or more. But the one thing we're actually going to be debating is either going to go either state pump, either carbureted, or EFI. And if you go EFI, the next thing we're going to be figuring out is if we're going to stay here and pump gas, or does the owner want to go also take a shot at ethanol, E85. So we did some measurements here. But the reason why we're going with the since we're going to be going with the 4W70 electronically controlled 4-speed automatic transmission, is because not only for efficiency, but we want to have more power to the ground. Okay. Well, we're also looking at the measurements here. The transmission is going to be listed at 25 inches. And since the drive shaft is at 12 inches, we're going to have to use a custom drive shaft to be fabricated to install in the system. So we have to subtract 25 from 22. We have to come up with about 2 and about 13/16 of an inch as well. 2 and 13/16 of an inch longer or shorter for this drive shaft. So instead of being a 12-inch long drive shaft, we had to come with a 9 and 3/16 inch. I want to say, no, 9 and 13/16 inch drive shaft. That one's going to be more of a stretch, but it might take a few weeks for us to get that drive shaft. But we're also going to be using the same 355 rear end from the Mustang GTs from the early 2000s, but rebuilt. Also, the 4W70 is also going to be having a whole rebuild kit, which we'll explain on the future parts of our 1964 Shelby Cobra Build. So that's going to be the update for right now, guys. We're actually a little bit ahead. We already have the 351 Windsor already delivered to us, so we can get cracking on this block right now. We're also waiting for the transmission, the 4W70. It's on the way. Should be here this week. We're also going to have to order a drive shaft. I was thinking, instead of go with the early 2000s Mustang from a 4.6 rear end GT, or go with the Ford 9-inch rear end, we'll put 355 to 1 gear ratio on this. Now the goal for here is not to be able to amplify the power, at least double the power of the car, and have more speed, but have more efficiency as well. But it's definitely going to be more power. But our main goal here as well, guys, is to try to make a naturally aspirated build on this Shelby Cobra 1964 to be able to outperform the Shelby Cobra Super Snake at its own game. Instead of being boosted, we can go naturally aspirated. And that's going to be the goal, guys. So my expectations, stock it already hits 13.8 seconds, but we should be looking at getting into around the mid to low 8s. That's the goal. Would it be dangerous? Maybe, but that's only going to be on the customer's expense for what he wants, though. So that's going to be the good news, and that's going to be the update, guys. If you guys are like what we're explaining here, when we're doing our builds from now on, we're actually going to be giving our podcasts and showing pictures on our Facebook and Instagram. But we're going to explain in detail on our board here to give you guys a better visual and understanding of how to actually build these kind of swaps. Because there's a lot of guys running the GMs using LS swaps. We're going to change the game a little bit different here using on the Ford side. In this kind of case for the Shelby Cobra, having a 289, swapping out to a 351. Because this 351, guys, is not just going to be just a drop-in 351 with the intake manifold and headers. We're actually going to be building it to a stroked 408 with heads, cam, headers, exhaust, intake manifold, and hopefully EFI. So if you guys are interested, please like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have Facebook and Instagram where we have a full detail and pictures of our build on the transmission and engine we're going to be installing on this Shelby Cobra. It's on Facebook and Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at king_Castro_forever on Instagram, and then Facebook. Look us up on Castro Motorsports at the end, double S, on Facebook as well. And like I said, guys, like, comment, subscribe if you guys are interested to see more information and details like this on our builds. We're more than welcome. We appreciate you guys, and be welcome. And the last thing I would say, guys, if you guys want to look at some more interesting things, we got other racing videos. Some of you guys like some enjoyable street racing videos you guys want to check out, go ahead. We're open to every guys. One thing we are a little bit against, we're just a little bit against those street takeovers, which we don't condone to. All right. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the update. This is the introduction. This is part 1. Stay tuned and subscribe for part 2.